Leading off.
On a beautiful Tuesday evening from the Magic City, the Crimson Tide makes their way up 20-59 for their final non-conference game of the season to face the Samford Bulldogs for the red, white, and blue of Samford U's final home game of the 2017 season. James Hardy with you as the Crimson Tide, the visiting team, will take downstairs for ball number 3-0 to the leadoff batter, true freshman Alyssa Brown, who's batting .284 on the season. As we'll go through the rest of the Crimson Tide lineup here in just a moment as Rebecca Leonard fires the pitch low for ball 4. Patrick Murphy's starting lineup looks like this for the Crimson and White. Alyssa Brown leading off now at first base. In right field, batting second, Chandler Dare. Bailey Hempfield, the first baseman, batting third. Peyton Grantham will bat cleanup and play third. The designated player, Marissa Runyon, will bat fifth. Rebecca Leonard coming in 1-5 on the season as the lefty winds and the pitch fastball high, 1-0. The rest of the Alabama batting order, batting sixth at second base tonight, Reagan Dykes. Catching and batting seventh, Kerrigan Fain. Sydney Booker at shortstop, batting eighth, and Rachel Bobo getting her first start of the season in left, batting ninth. Brown goes as the pitch is strike, as she'll easily make it in with the stolen base. Stolen base number 21 for the true freshman from out of Eclectic, Alabama, about an hour and 15-minute drive from the Birmingham metro area close to Montgomery. Dare will take upstairs. 2-1. The Crimson Tide struggling offensively really through much of the season, and especially as of late. As since Demi Turner's injury at Missouri earlier in the month, they've only scored 2.6 runs per game. As the 2-1 bunted back to Leonard, who will throw to first base in time. One away on a solid sacrifice bunt. A good job by Chandler Dare getting what's the potential go-ahead run and what would be the first run of the ball game over to third base and Alyssa Brown. As the sacrifice successfully converted for the first out, Bailey Hemphill. Another true freshman, one of four true freshmen on this year's roster for Patrick Murphy's Alabama Crimson Tide. .324 the average, 5 home runs. As she'll swing and loops one into left for a base hit that'll score the first run of the ball game, as Alyssa Brown will easily coast in from third to give the Crimson Tide the 1-0 lead.
The third baseman.
Something the Crimson Tide has done successfully very well as far as their 37 wins this year. 32 of those victories coming when they have been the first team to score in a ball game. Peyton Grantham, the third baseman, will take downstairs 1-0. So for Hemphill out of Lafayette, Louisiana, RBI number 31 on the season as she's at first base. Still one out as we're underway on a glorious Tuesday afternoon from the Magic City. The 1-0 inside and low, 2-0. Rebecca Leonard's numbers this year, a 1-5 record, her 5th start of the season. 10th appearance overall, a 3.23 ERA in 26 innings pitched. This is high with the 2-0 as the count now at 3-0. Marissa Runyon on deck. Alabama also looking to kind of stop a skid as of late over the last couple of weeks as they've lost 4 of their last 5 ball games, including a pair of games to Washington at home on Friday and Saturday. After tonight, the Crimson Tide goes up to Oxford to face the Ole Miss Rebels on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday as the 3-0 downstairs for ball 4. This is the home finale for the red, white, and blue of Samford U as they will go on the road this weekend, a doubleheader Saturday in non-conference play at Georgia Tech. And then they'll have next week off as far as midweek is concerned for final exams before going to Western Carolina to close out the regular season and to close out conference play. Samford coming in 21-29 overall, but a solid 9-6 mark in the Southern Conference, the defending champions of the SoCon. And the Alabama Crimson Tide at 10-7 in conference play, but 37-11 overall, as they are looking to try and get back into contention for one of those top 8 national seeds as far as postseason play is concerned. Really, no matter what happens as far as getting into an NCAA regional, Alabama could conceivably lose out and still get into an NCAA regional. But for Patrick Murphy, usually this time of the year is when Alabama starts playing their best. So Grantham on with a walk as Hempfield to second base for Marissa Runyon, the senior designated player who will take the first pitch for a strike at the knees. Runyon, a tough year from the plate, .228 the batting average, just 2 home runs and 20 RBIs. Leonard delivers. A tapper foul behind home plate, 0-2. A walk for Alyssa Brown, followed by a stolen base, then a sacrifice for Chandler Dare, followed by an RBI single down the left field line for Bailey Hemphill. And then Peyton Grantham walked on 4 pitches as the Crimson Tide currently up 1-0. Grounder to the right side, fielded by Katherine Jackson, who steps on the bag, 2 away, as that'll advance the runners to second and third. Grantham to second and Hemphill over to third base, as that brings up a solid hitter in Reagan Dykes, who had 12 home runs last year, but has also struggled somewhat this year. Just 2 home runs and 16 RBIs, along with a .247 average. Pitch on the way will get the strike call for Leonard. 0-1 to Reagan Dykes. Alabama looking to go to their 4th straight College World Series appearance, Women's College World Series appearance for the first time in school history, as the 0-1 tapped to the right side and foul, as Rebecca Leonard 1 strike away from getting out of a little bit of trouble, even though she's already given up the first run of the ball game. Defensively, by the way, for Samford, Royalty in left, Mays in center, and Couch in right. Along the infield, Higgins the third baseman, Hinton at shortstop, Miranda at second, and Katherine Jackson at first base, with Hannah Trombley behind home plate. 0-2 the count, the pitch. Hit high to left field. This is hit well, as it will go over the wall. 3-run homer for Reagan Dykes. An 0-2 pitch served up right down the middle of the plate in the wheelhouse of the sophomore second baseman, as Dykes deposits it over the left field wall to give the Crimson Tide an early 4-0 lead as far as early offensive success, something they have not seen on a consistent basis for much of the season.
Now batting the catcher, Kerrigan Fain.
As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Alabama's offense has struggled, especially since the injury to Demi Turner that she suffered up at Missouri on April the 1st in what was actually a victory in Game 2 of that series. As the first pitch will drop low. Kerrigan Fain to the plate. Fain comes up with nobody on base, a .320 batting average with 1 home run and 7 RBIs. Pitch on the way. Fastball outside. Alabama to their 7th batter in this inning, as the Crimson Tide has put a 4 spot on the board, looking for their 38th victory of the season. Strike call on the off-speed pitch for Rebecca Leonard. Count on the scoreboard goes to 1-2. So for Reagan Dykes, her home run, 3rd of the season, and RBIs 17, 18, and 19 on the year. 1-2 pitch in the dirt. A good eye by Fain to lay off the drop ball, 2-2. So Samford will come up to bat, trailing at the very best 4-0 as the pitch on the way. A fastball outside as the count going to 3-2. Umpires tonight: Craig Hyde at home plate, Frank Holcomb at first, and Jeff Medeiros, who we saw over the weekend against Mercer, is over at third base tonight. Payoff pitch. That'll be a little bit high and inside on the curveball, ball 4. So Sidney Booker will get in at bat with a runner on base and
The shortstop,
2 away.
Sidney Booker.
Sidney Booker, the normal shortstop for the Crimson Tide, a junior, 247 the average with 3 home runs, 17 RBIs. Leonard fires high for ball 1. Alabama over the last 5 games coming in has scored just 6 runs, but has almost matched that so far in the first inning. It's a line drive down the left field line, but that'll hook foul to even the count at 1-1. The Crimson Tide coming into tonight's ball game, 37-11. However, as we've mentioned numerously throughout this half inning, offense has been an issue for this year's team. In years past had been the strength of Patrick Murphy's squad, especially when Samford head coach Mandy Burford was starring for the Crimson Tide a decade ago. As the fastball in there, snap throw down, close play, and not in time, as Hannah Trombley nearly caught Kerrigan Fain napping over at first base, but the inning continues as the count goes to 1-2 on the strike call. Rebecca Leonard trying to get Samford out at the top of the first inning and misses outside, 2-2. A rare start for Rachel Bobo, as normally used as a pinch runner, is on deck, making her first start of the season. Pitch on the way, grounded foul to the left side. It's a beautiful night here on the campus of Samford University, as our game time temperature, by the way, today, 79 degrees. When they created college softball and when Mandy Burford and Patrick Murphy were creating this schedule, this is the type of night you were envisioning for today. Rise ball high as another snap throw down, not in time. Not a cloud in the sky, perfect weather for the Crimson Tide and the Bulldogs, the type of weather you would want to take for softball every time out. High fly ball to center field as Shelby Mays camping under it. Emmix the catch to retire the side. But for Alabama, a good start offensively as they put 8 up to the plate, scoring 4 runs on a couple of hits. There were no errors, and a runner left on base. So we go to the bottom of the first inning. The Crimson Tide 4, and Samford coming to bat as you're watching Samford softball.
These are the student athletes. This is where they train. These are their homes. This is where they become Rhodes Scholars and academic All-Americans. These are the athletes they've always admired. This is where champions are crowned and moments are made. This is the Southern Conference.
Game day brings out the best in all of us. Regions, every day is game day.
A beautiful night from the ballpark from the Samford Softball Stadium to close out the home schedule for the red, white, and blue of Samford U for the 2017 season. James Hardy with you as Mandy Burford will send out this starting lineup for the red, white, and blue of Samford U. Shelby Mays, one of the top hitters in the country, leading off in center field. Whitney Hinton, the shortstop, batting second. Abby Sweeney, the designated player, batting third. Kelsey Royalty in left field, batting fourth. It'll be batting in the fifth spot tonight, Madison Couch in right field. Abby Miranda getting started second and batting sixth. Hannah Trombley will be the catcher and bat seventh. At first base, Katherine Jackson will bat eighth. And at third base, Lexi Higgins will bat ninth. Defensively, for Alabama, Bobo in left, Brown in center, and Chandler Dare and right. Along the infield, Grantham at third, along with Sydney Booker at shortstop. Reagan Dykes getting a rare start in the infield at second base. Normally the starting catcher for Alabama, but she's had second tonight. Hemphill over at first base, and Kerrigan Fain behind home plate as an Alabama product from just up high I-22 in Winfield, Alabama, Northwest Alabama. Maddie Moore, a 5-1 record. She's won her last 2 midweek starts coming in. A 3.69 ERA. This will be her 16th appearance, 9th start of the season. 43 2/3 innings pitched, has allowed 39 hits, 29 runs with 23 earned. 16 walks on the year compared to 23 strikeouts. As we mentioned, introducing the Samford lineups, Shelby Mays, second in the country in hits coming in. Leadoff for Samford, wearing their white tops and navy blue bottoms. As a bunt back to Morris, she'll pounce on it and throws in time, 1 away. So exactly how Maddie Moore wanted to get her start underway, getting one of the top base stealers as well, and as we mentioned, one of the top hitters in the country out of the first pitch is Whitney Hinton to the plate. Hinton from Theodore, Alabama, a freshman, 257 the average, 6 home runs, 18 RBIs. Moore winds and delivers. Upstairs on the fastball, 1-0. Crimson Tide has just 3 more home games left in the regular season. The final regular season weekend against the Auburn Tigers in a little less than a couple of weeks in Tuscaloosa. The 1-0, down low, 2-0. We talked with Mandy Burford in the postgame Sunday after the Samford Bulldogs wrapped up a series win against Mercer, and I asked her about maybe any sort of nerves as far as her emotions going in to tonight's ball game, as far as going up against her alma mater, as we'll tell you the rest of that in after this. 2-0. Lined foul, almost at the spot where Mandy Burford is standing, 2-1. Mandy Burford, in her 6th season as the head coach of Samford University, took the program to their first ever NCAA regional down in Tuscaloosa last season. And because she's been here for a while now, in her 6th season, the jitters, as she put it, not there anymore, especially when Samford plays a few of the SEC teams, at least 3 or 4 almost every year. The 2-1. Good off-speed pitch, the changeup right in there. Pretty pitch that time from the lefty Maddie Moore. Moore with 5 shutout innings and a 5-inning win a couple of weeks ago against UAB. 6 1/3 shutout innings against Southern Miss last Wednesday. The 2-2. Swing and a miss as she'll go with the fastball down at the knees. Good selection that time and good location to get her first strikeout of the night. 2 away for Abby Sweeney, the reigning SoCon Player of the Week coming up, the senior, a designated player for tonight. 340 the average, 8 round trippers to lead the team, and second in the SoCon with 34 RBIs. Nobody on base for Samford as the Crimson Tide put a 4 spot in the top of the inning. Line drive foul down the left field line. 0-1. Always a special night when you get an SEC squad for any SoCon school, but especially for the Samford Bulldogs, too, whether it's Auburn, Alabama, especially the in-state schools, and especially with a gold standard in college softball around the South, and Alabama coming in to the Samford Softball Stadium for a home game tonight. The 0-1, down and away. 1-1. Just the second time for Alabama to come up to the campus of Samford University for a softball game in about the last decade, and the second time since the Samford Bulldogs essentially rebuilt their home facility about 4 years ago. Nobody on base, 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the first inning as Moore winds and delivers. Grounded up the middle. That'll be fielded by Booker. Throws low and a good scoop over by Hemphill. at first base as Moore gets the Bulldogs down in order in the bottom of the first inning. So for Samford, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base as we're through one. Alabama 4 and Samford nothing as you're watching Samford softball.
Canadian bacon, Italian sausage, Spanish olives. It's like having the whole world in your hands and then in your mouth.
Order the Works Pizza or any large pizza for just $12. That's right, just $12 for any large pizza. Order now at papajohns.com.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
In addition to the Crimson Tide making their way up 2059 for a special game tonight, here at the stadium we're also joined by the Sisters of Zeta Tau Alpha, of course, the Zetas, who tonight are partnering with Samford Softball for tonight's Pink Out. Our goal is to promote breast cancer awareness and education, and also to raise those all-important funds that go toward the fight against breast cancer. Tonight, your donations will benefit both the Zeta Foundation and the K-Yao Cancer Fund, and you can help also from home. Just look for the donation links online at www.zetatau, that's T-A-U, alpha.org, or www.kateyao, that's Y-O-W.com. And a big thank you from the Zetas and Samford Softball. It'll be Rebecca Leonard returning to the circle as she'll face Rachel Bobo for the Alabama Crimson Tide, leading off with just her second at-bat of the season, who takes for strike one. Rachel Bobo, a perfect 1,000 batting average, 1-for-1. She'll bounce it back to check that DeSalle now in the circle as she'll throw over to first base in time. So it'll be the second pitcher of the night for the Samford Bulldogs. We've seen a couple of freshmen for Alabama get the start tonight, as this time it'll be coming into the circle. Taylor DeSalle from the left side. Out of Powder Springs, Georgia, a 5'6" freshman, 2-7 on the year from the circle with a 5.59 ERA. Alyssa Brown will take a fastball outside for ball one. Samford in a game like tonight has nothing to lose, looking more so as far as SoCon tournament positioning, as they'll be off from conference play this weekend and go on the road in a little less than 2 weeks to Western Carolina. 1-0 downstairs, 2-0. Alyssa Brown, one of those freshmen that we mentioned to start off the broadcast, a promising player in the outfield for Patrick Murphy, a 5'3" freshman out of Eclectic, Alabama, a three-time All-State player for Elmore County High School. As she'll take strike one call, will Alyssa Brown. 20 stolen bases coming in, already has a stolen base tonight, has 12 high school records in the Alabama High School Athletic Association here in the state of Alabama. Swings and misses, however, at the 2-1 as the count goes to 2-2. Also quite the athlete, as she's maybe one of the fastest players, arguably one of the fastest players in the Southeastern Conference. Also won regional titles in the 100 and 200 meter dash in high school. Fly ball to center is coming in. Mays isn't able to catch up as it falls in front of Shelby Mays for the base hit. Good placement on the little blue fly ball to center field as Alyssa Brown found just the right spot behind Hinton at shortstop and in front of a speedy Shelby Mays in center field. So second time that Alyssa Brown has reached, this time with one out on a single for Chandler Dare out of Tuscaloosa. Played her high school ball at American Christian Academy. As she'll take outside throw down, not in time, and you can see that speed on display. out of 23 attempts coming into the game, had only been gunned down 3 times this year. And folks, she still has 3 more years to go in Tuscaloosa. Fly ball to the left side, and that's out of play. 1-1 on Chandler Dare. Senior out of Tuscaloosa, as we mentioned, already 6 multi-hit games this year. Started 60 games last year, had a home run and 36 RBIs. Takes downstairs, 2-1 to Chandler Dare. Dare with just 1 home run so far this year and 12 RBIs. 2-1. Grounded over to Higgins, who will look the runner back, throws to first, and that is not in time. You may have seen right there that Lexi Higgins concerned about the speed of Alyssa Brown as she took maybe a little bit too long of a look over at second base. And once she threw to first base was not in time, so that'll go down as a single. Hit number 2 of the inning. Hit number 4 of the ball game for the Crimson Tide, wearing all crimson tonight with the crimson tops and bottoms and also the white numbers and letters, as we'll have time called as the Samford infield will come and have a quick discussion. This spring, the 2017 SoCon Softball Championship will be hosted by the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. Tournament action begins on Wednesday, May the 10th, with the championship game set for Saturday, May 13th. For more details on the 2017 SoCon Softball Championship, including ticket and bracket info, visit SoConSports.com. Hemphill up at the plate, who had an RBI single her first time up, will take strike 1 call, 0-1. Hemphill, another freshman, getting a start tonight for the Crimson and White as the pitch hit high and deep to left field. No doubt about this one, as that'll go into the trees. And that'll be the last time we see that softball, as the Crimson Tide adds 3 runs on the board and takes a 7-0 lead. One of the finest golf trails, at least in this state, not too far away from here in Ross Bridge, and you could have teed that one up right on the first tee at Ross Bridge, and I don't think Bailey Hemphill could have hit it any more down the center of the fairway than what we just saw in that home run ball. 4 RBIs tonight for Bailey Hemphill, as the Crimson Tide now up by a touchdown, as Peyton Grantham gets ahead in the count 1-0. Grantham, a walk and a run scored her last time up. DeSalle will wind and pitch. Fastball in there. 1-1 count. Outfield playing straight away as the pitch on the way. Outside, 2-1. Rebecca Leonard got the start, went 1 inning, gave up 4 earned runs on a couple of hits. Also walked 3 batters and did not strike out a batter, as Taylor DeSalle coming on in relief. The 2-1. Low and away, 3-1. Both teams are really clearing their bench on a night like tonight in the final non-conference game for Bama and the final home game for Samford this year, as the pitch, off-speed pitch in there, 3-2. For Samford, we mentioned it earlier on this inning, nothing to lose with a game like tonight. First off, against a team that's, at least on paper, a lot better than Samford is this year. It's a fly ball by Grantham deep to left as Royalty goes back and makes the catch along the wall, 2 away. And plus you factor in that Samford has played below 500 ball for really since the first game of the season. So there's nothing to lose with this type of a ball game, and with the SoCon the way it is as far as the overall records and the RPI, it'll be a 1-bid league this year, so they're really trying to position themselves also for the SoCon tournament in a couple of weeks, as a foul ball for Runyon down the first base line, 0-1. Right now, Samford just a few percentage points behind a couple of teams in the SoCon for second place. as the 0-1 downstairs, 1-1. Samford Bulldogs won their third SoCon series in their last 4 weeks over the weekend, with taking 2 out of 3 over the Mercer Bears. The 1-1 outside, 2-1. But if you're Patrick Murphy, I don't care who the opponent you're playing is, especially on the road, definitely a promising sign that the offense is in gear for one of the few times over the last month and a half or so. Strike call as the count goes to 2-2. As the last week has not been very successful as far as run scoring, just 4 runs last week total in 3 games. Fastball just outside, 3-2. 7 runs already tonight, scored 8 runs in 5 innings against UAB on April the 11th. And then you have to go back all the way to April 1st against Missouri. It's a swing and a miss for Runyon on the drop ball. She'll go down on strikes, and that'll do it for the Crimson Tide in the second inning, but they add 3 more runs on 3 hits, no errors, and nobody left on base as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Alabama cruising up 7-0 as you're watching Samford softball.
Human beings can be hungry anytime they please. Maybe you messed up and didn't eat enough lunch. Perhaps dinner is very far away. It doesn't matter. Come to Arby's and solve your hunger problems with dollar sliders, cookies, small-sized fries, drinks, and shakes, each for $1 from 2 to 5 p.m., not a.m. Arby's, we have the meat.
At Express Oil Change and Tire Engineers, we believe in service.
Maintenance service, tire service, repair service,
and most importantly, customer service.
We believe in treating our customers with respect and integrity while offering all the services you need for your car.
Most of all, at Express Oil Change and Tire Engineers,
we believe in keeping cars on the road, keeping families safe,
and keeping you coming back whenever the need arises.
The regular season is winding down for the red, white, and blue of Samford U. Also, the Crimson Tide season starting to come to a close in the regular season. But for the Samford Bulldogs, they'll go on the road this weekend for a non-conference doubleheader at Georgia Tech, as game times are at 2 and for some time around 4 o'clock Central Time in Atlanta on Saturday. The Dogs wrap up the SoCon schedule, the regular season schedule as well, the weekend of May the 6th and the 7th at Western Carolina. A Saturday doubleheader and a single game on Sunday. For details and updates, follow Samford Softball on Twitter at SamfordSB. And for game previews, recaps, media links, and more, just visit the official online home for Samford Sports, SamfordSports.com. Time to flip the lineup card over for the red, white, and blue of Samford U, as they'll have Kelsey Royalty leading off here in the bottom of the second inning, as Royalty, the sophomore, gets ahead in the count, 1-0. Making sure I'm reading this baseball score for Samford before we get this next pitch from Moore that's high and away. And I am reading it right that the red, white, and blue of Samford U on the baseball diamond went up to Huntsville tonight and put 31 in a single game tonight in a 31-1 win. I know it's Alabama A&M, so the name, just the name brand itself doesn't lend to a lot of excellent baseball, but I don't care who you're playing. 31 in a game, not too bad at all. Bouncer behind home plate on the 2-0 as it's foul, 2-1. So that's a 31-1 victory for Casey Dunn's Samford baseball Bulldogs as they'll return home tomorrow night to face Alabama State over at Jolie Griffin Field at 6 o'clock. Two and one the count. Kelsey Royalty, the sophomore, at the plate. Grounds one to the right side, fielded by Dykes as she'll underhand over to first base in time. Reagan Dykes normally the starting catcher, but also a type of game for Patrick Murphy as we've seen so far this game offensively, experimenting with the lineup, giving some of the reserve players some valuable playing time going down the home stretch of the regular season. Also trying some different combinations defensively for tonight's ball game. Madison Couch, the sophomore, to the plate. She'll bunt right side, foul, 0-1. Maddie Moore is retired all 4 batters that she's faced so far tonight. Also is not allowed to run in a couple of ball games. In fact, her last 2 starts have been shutout victories over, in fact, a couple of Conference USA squads, one that Samford just saw last week up on the south side of Birmingham. 0-1 to the right fielder, Madison Couch. Lines one foul to the right side, 0-2. Now tonight's ball game for Alabama, even though it is on the road, and normally as far as the RPI formula helps you out on the road as far as giving you a little extra boost, with Samford at 194 in the RPI rankings, not going to be a big boost for Alabama tonight as the 0-2 is grounded up the middle, and that'll get stopped by Booker. She'll throw to first in time. Now that's the difference for, let's say, a Samford playing in SEC school, because normally in a SoCon game that probably gets up the middle and into center field for a base hit, but with the quickness and the athleticism and excellent defense shown by Sydney Booker, she's able to range over to her left, and then even though the throw was low, good scoop made by Hemphill over at first base for the 6-3 putout. 2 away for Abby Miranda, a senior. Senior from Vestavia Hills, playing her final home game in a Samford uniform, as she'll take a high fastball, 1-0. Miranda, 275 on the year, 3 home runs and 29 RBIs. Rebuilding year for Samford after losing 6 seniors from the SoCon championship squad of a year ago. Bottom of the second inning, nobody on base, 2 away. Pitch from Maddie Moore. Hit high in the infield, should do it, as it'll be caught by Maddie Moore, as it appeared that she was going to let Hemphill try and get it, but at the very last second, Moore realized that she needed to help out herself and did so on the pop-up to Maddie Moore. So that'll do it for Samford offensively in the second inning. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on base as we are through 2. 7-0, Alabama leading as you're watching Samford softball. Compliance with NCAA rules is of utmost importance to Samford University and its athletics department. As a member of the NCAA, Samford University is responsible for the actions of its coaches, student athletes, faculty, and staff, alumni, donors, boosters, and friends. So we remind you to always ask before you act. For more questions and answers, email us at compliance@samford.edu. James Hardy with you for tonight's home finale for the red, white, and blue of Samford U. Reagan Dykes will lead off for the Crimson Tide as she homered to left her last time up as she gets ahead in the count, 1-0 against Taylor Tissell. Dykes playing second base tonight, getting already her third home run of this 2017 season. She'll take high for ball 2. Samford at 9-6 percentage-wise in 4th place in the SoCon, but essentially they're bunched up for second in what's kind of a 3-way tie, but just a few percentage points behind UNCG and ETSU, as Dykes will take for ball 3. (3-0) on Reagan Dykes out of Collins, Mississippi. 44 RBIs a year ago, as she'll take a rise ball upstairs, ball 4. Second time that Dykes has reached base will bring up Kerrigan Fain, the catcher, a reserve catcher out of just up the road, actually almost just right next door to Shelby Mays from Mount Olive, Alabama.
Catcher, Kerrigan
in fact,
Fain.
we'll tell you about, in fact, there was a nice article on AL.com, a feature article on Shelby Mays as well, as the first pitch to Fain is swung on and missed for strike 1. Should be able to discuss it more in depth later on in the game, but definitely an Alabama connection, though, to Shelby Mays, one of the top hitters in the country in both batting average and hits, as the 0-1 strike call, 0-2 to Kerrigan Fain. Has 1 home run, 7 RBIs. So far tonight, has walked 8 of 25, by the way, from the plate this year coming into tonight's game. Grounds one left side. Nice field by Higgins. Goes to second for 1. The throw to first. Double play. Around the horn. 5-4-3. Twin killing. Nice job on the short hop by Lexi Higgins, as we talked about with Mandy Burford in the postgame on Sunday after the win over Mercer. Last year, Higgins played at shortstop, has played some in the outfield and at first base this year, and a game or two at shortstop, but has settled in nicely defensively over at the hot corner, as the curveball in there for strike 1. As there's now 2 outs and nobody on base thanks to that double play for Sydney Booker, who has flied out to center field tonight. Pitch on the way. Downstairs, 1-1. I mean, you cannot talk about enough how great a weather evening this is with sunny skies. One of those type of days you want to drive down the interstate and just roll the windows down. The 1-1. Upstairs, 2-1. 25th meeting all time between the Crimson Tide and the Samford Bulldogs. It dates back to Alabama's first year as a softball program in 1997. The 2-1. Hit down the right field line, slicing, and that will go a fair ball. So it's just inside the line, as Couch has a little bit of a struggle trying to get it out of the corner, and just does so, as she'll get it back into the infield, as Booker will reach with a double. Looked as if Booker, I think, actually slid into second base. If she hadn't done so, might be standing on third. But hey, with 2 outs, when you're in scoring position,
The left fielder,
maybe
Rachel
outside
Bobo.
for the wild pitch, not much of a difference, as the runner can go on contact with 2 outs. It'll be Rachel Bobo to the plate, who is 0 for 1 today, as she'll take the first pitch strike call. A ground out to Tissell for Bobo an inning ago. Only the 3rd at bat of the season for Rachel Bobo. Normally used as a pinch runner, as the pitch on the way is outside, 1-1. So this is a golden opportunity for some playing time. Actually a rare start for Bobo out of Seabrook, Texas, a junior. In fact, this is her first collegiate start of her career as she joined the Crimson Tide in 2015. Swings and misses through that 1-1. 1-2. '40th game that Bobo has appeared in, and like I mentioned, normally used as a pinch runner for Patrick Murphy. As a grounder to the left side, Hinton fields, throws in time, as that'll do it for the Crimson Tide in the top of the 3rd inning. So for the Crimson Tide, they actually go scoreless for the first time in an inning in this game. So no runs on one hit, no errors, and a runner left in scoring position. So we go to the bottom of the third inning. Alabama up by a touchdown, 7-0, as you're watching Samford softball.
General Shale makes your great outdoors even better with big savings on its outdoor living collection. Everything you need to create your own backyard fire pit. Outdoor fireplace, General Shale delivers to your home and can recommend a contractor. Or offers easy-to-follow instructions to do it yourself. Save money now on backyard fun with General Shale's complete outdoor living collection. Hurry, your great outdoors is waiting for you.
Have your birthday with the Bulldogs and enjoy food, fun, and Samford sports as you celebrate your birthday at a Samford Athletics event. Spots are still available, but only for a limited number of upcoming dates for the red, white, and blue on the baseball diamond. To get all the details and book your date, contact the Samford Spirit Office at bulldogevents@samford.edu. Once again, that's Bulldog Events at samford.edu. Hannah Trombley will get her first at-bat of the ball game. 4 RBIs over the weekend against Mercer in the series win. Takes fastball from Maddie Moore for strike one. Overall on the season, .235 the average with 3 home runs and 32 RBIs. Trombley, one of the top freshmen in the SoCon a year ago, as the 0-1 fouled off to the right side, 0-2. A dozen round trippers for the Samford sophomore catcher a season ago, including a game-winning home run against UNCG that actually clinched the regular season championship in the SoCon, and a game-tying 7th-inning homer against Furman in the SoCon tournament championship game. Oh, outside with the fastball. A fantastic start so far for Maddie Moore. She has set down the first 6 Samford batters in order as we're in the bottom of the third inning. 1-2 the count on the Samford catcher, Abby Sweeney. Rather, Hannah Trombley to the plate as the pitch on the way is grounded to the right side, fielded by Dykes, and makes the throw in time. 1 away. So Catherine Jackson, a true freshman on this year's Samford softball squad, will get her first at-bat against Maddie Moore.
Now batting the Bulldog first baseman, Catherine Jackson.
Jackson playing first base tonight. Out of Powder Springs, Georgia, 167 the average, has a round tripper and 7 RBIs. Wind and the pitch, fouled back our way. 0-1. Lexi Higgins also scheduled to come up as she is on deck in the number 9 spot. Samford still looking for a base runner so far tonight. The Crimson Tide with a couple of 3-run homers tonight. The 0-1. That's slow. 1-1. Shelby Mays coming in with a game-high 9-game hitting streak, a high for either team coming into tonight as far as active hitting streaks are concerned. Whitney Hinton and Abby Sweeney each with 5-game hitting streaks entering tonight's game. The 1-1. Fisted into center field. That's going to drop down for a base hit as Catherine Jackson gets the first hit and base runner for the Samford Bulldogs, and that'll bring up Lexi Higgins, an in-state product for the red, white, and blue of Samford U out of Oxford, Alabama. He's had a tough year so far this year, the junior third baseman. 4 home runs, 13 RBIs, but just 124, 16 of 129 from the plate this year. Has started to play some excellent defense, however, at the hot corner at third over the last 2 to 3 weeks of the regular season. Pitch from Moore. Outside and high with the fastball, 1-0. One of the country's leading hitters, Shelby Mays, is on deck. Catherine Jackson at first base with a single. 1 out, we're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Pitch for Maddie Moore. Upstairs, 2-0. As much as the offense has struggled for Alabama this season, the pitching has been just as good on the flip side as they have coming into tonight. 23 shutouts as a pitching staff this season. The 2-0. Lined right side. That's going to drop down in front of Dykes as she will not have a play anywhere. As 2 runners are on for Samford, still just 1 out. A soft line drive to the right side as Dykes playing more toward double play position up the middle. She had a tough time trying to get to the falling line drive and couldn't get a good handle on it. And that's kind of where some inexperience this season at second also coming in for Dykes. So that brings up the top of the order for Shelby Mays with 2 runners on. But into a ground out to Moore, her last time up. Pitch on the way. Take in a strike call on the outside corner, 0-1, and that will be called an E4 on Reagan Dykes. Normally we'd see behind the home plate. Behind home plate is the catcher for the Crimson Tide, but playing second base tonight. Samford trying to get on the scoreboard with their first run of the ball game. Infield coming in, 0-1. Foul ball our way, 0-2. A great article in AL.com today profiling the offensive exploits of Shelby Mays, the junior from out of Morris, Alabama. Actually was the successor in center field at Mortimer Jordan High School for one of Alabama's all-time legends in Haley McClinney, who graduated after last year. One out, the 0-2 from Moore. Bounced foul behind home plate. You're talking about some talent just in those 2 young ladies, and Haley McClinney, who is playing professional softball, and Shelby Mays, that Samford is certainly blessed to have on the softball team over the last 3 years. And coming into tonight, just 1 hit behind the nation's leader as far as hits in college softball. 77 hits coming in to tonight for Shelby Mays. The 0-2. Hit high into left field as going back Bobo will make the catch. 2 away. So Rachel Bobo gets a put out. As to the plate, Whitney Hinton had one of her best days in her young Samford career as a true freshman. Her first 2 home run game against the Mercer Bears, and also 3 RBIs that catapulted Samford to a 6-3 series clinching victory a couple of days ago on Senior Day. Runners at first and second. Fastball upstairs. Abby Sweeney is on deck. A strikeout for Hinton, her first time up. Hinton's average up to 257 coming into tonight. The 1-0 for Maddie Moore. Line foul. That's one of the hardest hit balls we've seen off Maddie Moore all night long, as that'll go into the Samford bullpen. 1-1. Whitney Hinton had been batting for most of this season around the 205 to 225 range, but has gone on a recent tear and has increased her average to almost 260 now. 1-1 the count. Good curveball, and that'll be a called strike that time from Craig Hyde behind home plate. 1-2. Alabama and Samford will both resume action on Saturday as the Crimson Tide back in conference play at Ole Miss to start their final conference road series of the year. The 1-2 on the way. Hit in on the left side is calling for it and making the catches Grantham, as that'll do it for Samford here in the third inning. So after getting a couple of runners on, the Samford Bulldogs cannot score a run on, no runs rather, on one hit. There was an error and two left on base. So we're through three, going to the fourth. It's 7-0, Alabama with the lead as you're watching Samford softball.
Game day brings out the best in all of us. Regions, every day is game day.
Meet Pete and Paul, twins so much alike, friends call them Pete and repeat. But Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama treats them as individuals. Each gets a health insurance plan designed to meet his specific needs. One is a self-employed entrepreneur, the other working for a large company. After all, no two customers are alike, especially in Alabama. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama. We cover what matters. Find out how we can cover you.
We appreciate you for joining us on Samford Softball's home finale for the 2017 regular season. James Hardy with you. The Samford University Athletics Department just finished up completing the new Samford Athletics Hall of Fame over the last few weeks, and it is now open to the public on the third floor of the Pete Hanna Center, just adjacent to the ticket office. Our inaugural class will be inducted in a special ceremony scheduled for Saturday, May the 6th. Taylor DeSalle returns to the circle and will face the top third of the Crimson Tide order as Alyssa Brown will take upstairs for ball one. Bobby Bowden, along with former Samford star and NFL star Cortland Finnegan, a part of that inaugural Hall of Fame class, as a grounder to Jackson. She'll slip, races to first, and gets there in time for out number one. Heady play by Katherine Jackson right there, although she stumbled initially trying to get to first base because, hey, we've seen the speed of Alyssa Brown already tonight. And because just like Jackson did there, you've got to have that sense of urgency at first base when you're fielding those ground balls to go ahead and get to first base to try and get somebody like the aforementioned Alyssa Brown out. So one away, and Chandler Dare will take for ball one. Sacrifice 1-3 in the first, and also a single and a run scored in the second. Fouls one off to the left side, 1-1. Just the second time since the total rebuild of the Samford Softball Stadium in 2013 that the Crimson Tide has made their way up to the campus of Samford University. One in the home opener for Samford in 2015, 7-1, as the line drive foul to the left side. Not sure what the attendance numbers will be tonight, but had about, I think it was around the 850 number for attendance. That was a season high in the 2015 home schedule. Just eyeballing it tonight, probably about 600 to 700 tonight here at the park. Grounder to the left side, Hinton gobbles, throws in time, 2 away. And wherever Alabama goes, hey, just like you see on a Saturday in the fall, Just like with the football team, wherever Alabama softball goes, I've seen it firsthand when I was calling Alabama softball as a graduate school student about almost a decade ago on some road trips with them. The Alabama fans will certainly travel with the softball program as well. Strike one call to Bailey Hemphill because I tell you, there is a lot of crimson and white in the stands tonight with a large fan base for Alabama and alumni base here in Birmingham. Strike call as the count goes to 0-2. Of course, Mandy Burford, an alum of the University of Alabama and Alabama softball herself in the Samford dugout tonight as a called strike three as DeSalle works a 1-2-3 inning, getting the strikeout of Bailey Hemphill. So Samford starting to settle down a little bit after a shaky first couple of innings as Alabama's gone scoreless now over the last two at-bats. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We're halfway home. Your score, Alabama 7 and Samford nothing as you're watching Samford softball.
I think we should have taken a left at the river.
Tarzan, no. Where Tarzan go?
Tarzan does not know where Tarzan go. Hey, excuse me, do you know where the waterfall is? Waterfall?
No. Me, Tarzan. King of jungle.
I know you wanted to.
If you're a couple, you fight over directions. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
You have to do that right in my ear.
Your Magic City area Little League team could play with the Bulldogs. It's a chance to have your team take the field with the Dogs for the national anthem, have a player throw out the first pitch, and then run the bases after the game and meet the Bulldogs. Spots are still available, but only for a limited number of upcoming dates for Bulldog Baseball. To get all the details and book your date, contact the Samford Spirit Office at Bulldog Events at samford.edu. Again, that's Bulldog Events at samford.edu. Abby Sweeney, one of the 5 seniors for Samford, playing their final home game in a red, white, and blue of Samford U uniform, will take downstairs for ball one. The Bulldogs were retired in their first 7 batters until Katherine Jackson blooped a single in the last inning. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning as Maddie Moore comes back out to the circle for the Crimson Tide of Alabama. The 1-0 hit our way and out of play. Abby Sweeney, one of 5 seniors honored on Sunday as part of Senior Day festivities before the rubber match against Mercer out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. 3rd all-time in career home runs here at Samford. Has 8 on the season this year. The 1-1. Hit into right field, coming in a long run and making the running catch is Chandler Dare. 1 away. Brings up Kelsey Royalty, the sophomore out of Marietta, Georgia. 3 home runs and 13 RBIs this year, matching her 3 home runs from her freshman year last year. Already 6 multi-hit games this year for the sophomore outfielder as Moore fires a swing and a miss at the low fastball. 0-1. Madison Couch also scheduled to come up this inning. Infield playing back up the middle for the left-handed batting Royalty. Wind and the pitch. Good eye by Royalty, taking low, 1-1. Our final presentation for the season here of Samford softball as you're watching us on the Samford Athletics YouTube channel tonight. Tell you more about the rest of the home schedule for baseball throughout this broadcast. Foul ball back our way on the bunt, 1-2. And one of the top single game run producing games in Samford baseball history today up in Huntsville as Casey Dunn's squad gets a 31-1 win at Alabama A&M. I think even Mike Grace might have seen some action today up in Huntsville. The 1-2 bounced up the middle for Booker. Fields and throws in time. 2 away. I think maybe even Blake Gardner, the voice of the Bulldogs, and myself could have gotten playing time up in Huntsville today with the amount of runs that were scored for the red, white, and blue on the baseball diamond. I mean, I'm looking through this box score, folks, and it's literally almost everybody on the roster was able to get at least 1 RBI today. Arrington Schaefer, the only one that did not get an RBI. And also Cunningham did not get an RBI either in an at-bat. So 2 away, nobody on base for Madison Couch as she'll get ahead 1-0 as she grounded out to the shortstop her last time up. Nobody on base. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. 7-0 Bama with the lead. Curveball in there. 1-1. Even though the offense for the most part this year, even when Demi Turner was in the lineup, still had at best an average offense, and since her absence at Missouri has gone downhill since then, still the pitching has been there to put Alabama in position to win as the fastball outside. Maddie Moore, and especially on the weekend in conference play, Alexis Osorio, who's one of the top pitchers in college softball, and senior Sydney Littlejohn have more than done their parts this year to give Alabama their 37 wins this year. 2-1. Pitch fouled back our way, 2-2. After tonight, a 5-game season-ending road trip for the Samford Bulldogs, 2 at Georgia Tech and 3 at Western Carolina to close out the regular season before the start of SoCon tournament play. Two and two the count. Moore winds and delivers. Downstairs, good at bat by Madison Couch as she's worked the count full. 3-2. Also, a couple of other SoCon games have already gone final tonight. We'll get to those scores in just a moment. 2 outs, though. 3-2 on Madison Couch. Moore with the wind. And a swing and a foul tip into the glove of catcher Kerrigan Fain. So that'll be a strikeout, the second tonight for Maddie Moore, as that'll do it for the red, white, and blue of Samford U in the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. As we're through 4, Alabama 7, Samford nothing, as you're watching Samford softball.
These are the student athletes. This is where they train. These are their homes. This is where they become Rhodes Scholars and academic All-Americans. These are the athletes they've always admired. This is where champions are crowned and moments are made. This is the Southern Conference.
Samford fans can keep up with the Bulldogs 24/7 through a variety of social media outlets. Twitter updates are always available at twitter.com/Samford_sports. The official Samford Athletics Facebook page can be found by searching Samford University Athletics at facebook.com. Crimson Tide will lead off this inning in the top of the fifth inning with Peyton Grantham, who takes low and away 1-0. After the 3-run homer by Bailey Hemphill in the second, Taylor DeSalle has had a nice little outing for herself as a strike call on the 1-0 on the off-speed pitch 1-1. Has retired 4 in a row since the double by Booker in the third inning and has not allowed a run since the second. High, lazy fly ball to center field for Mays, who comes running in and makes the catch for out number 1. Rebecca Leonard started and gave up 4 runs in the first inning, thanks in large part to a 3-run home run from Reagan Dykes to left field.
Crimson Tide, number 34, Caroline Hardy.
So Caroline Hardy, no relation to yours truly, will come to the plate as the first pinch hitter of the ball game for the Crimson Tide. So Patrick Murphy going more into the bench as far as getting some of those reserves, some much needed playing time going down the stretch. 1-0 the count, by the way, for the Alabama pinch hitter. Caroline Hardy out of Vestavia Hills as she'll swing and hits one high to center field. Mays goes back and makes the catch along the wall. 2 away. So Caroline Hardy gives that one a ride all the way to the deepest part of the ballpark before flying out to center field. 2 down, nobody on base for Reagan Dykes, who's reached base twice.
Second baseman, Reagan Dykes.
A 3-run bomb in the first and then a leadoff walk in the third inning. DeSalle almost got into the wind, but time is called as head coach Patrick Murphy will have a couple of seconds with Reagan Dykes and also Kerrigan Fain, who's on deck. Also, as far as Samford social media, you can find Samford Sports on Instagram. Also, as we're doing tonight on our official Samford Athletics YouTube channel, you can find our broadcasts, also various baseball broadcasts throughout the rest of the regular season on YouTube. And also for an update on all 17 red, white, and blue of Samford U Sports, the official website home of Samford University Athletics, samfordsports.com. Reagan Dykes gets ahead in the count 1-0. We're in the top of the fifth inning as Alabama quickly got on top in the first inning 4-0, extended the lead to 7-0 after 2. That's the 1-0 high, 2-0. Alabama will have a Saturday, Sunday, Monday series at Ole Miss this weekend as Samford will have 2 games at Georgia Tech on Saturday. Fastball high, 3-0. And then what could be a very big weekend for the Crimson Tide in a couple of weeks as far as trying to get into position to get one of those top 8 national seeds. A 3-game weekend against Auburn at home in a couple of weeks. Strike 1 call, 3-1 the count. That'll be the 5th, 6th, and 7th of May for Alabama. Auburn coming into this week in the top 5 of the RPI, so that's one of those weekends Alabama could really use a good weekend as far as building up their NCAA tournament resume when it comes to not only hosting a regional, but also trying to get in position to maybe get one of those top 8 national seeds and host a super regional. Reagan Dykes walks for the second straight time as she's at first base. Kerrigan Fain has walked and also grounded in to an around-the-horn 5-4-3 double play, her most recent at-bat. Takes at the knees downstairs, 1-0. So we've seen Rachel Bobo as well as Kerrigan Fain, Caroline Hardy, and a couple of the other lesser used players on the roster for Bama this year get some meaningful and extended playing time tonight as the count goes now to 1-1 on Kerrigan Fain as Sydney Booker is on deck. Alabama has been without the services of one of their top leaders and top producers offensively, Demi Turner, since the beginning of the month as the curveball in there. 1-2. I know a lot of you Crimson and White folks, and I know the story of what happened with Demi Turner earlier this month up at Missouri. The 1-2. Downstairs, they're going to peel down to first base. Did not think she went, and so did the first base umpire, Frank Holcomb. Did not go. 2-2. Sixth inning, bottom sixth inning at Missouri. Demi Turner playing second base was kind of drifting over toward second base, and we'll tell the story in a little bit as the 2-2 is grounded to the left side for Hinton. Throws to first base in time, and we'll put a wrap on that story after the break, as that'll do it for the Crimson Tide to finish out the top of the fifth inning. Once again going scoreless as no runs, no hits, no errors, and a runner left on base for Alabama. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning, still a touchdown lead, 7-0 for Bama, as you're watching Samford softball.
Game day brings out the best in all of us. Regions, every day is game day.
Human beings can be hungry anytime they please. Maybe you messed up and didn't eat enough lunch. Perhaps dinner is very far away. It doesn't matter. Come to Arby's and solve your hunger problems with dollar sliders, cookies, small-sized fries, drinks, and shakes, each for $1 from 2 to 5 p.m. Not AM. Arby's, we have the meats.
We're in the bottom of the fifth inning from the Samford Softball Stadium on a beautiful, gorgeous late April night here in central Alabama in the Magic City as the Alabama Crimson Tide leads 7-0. James Hardy with you on the home finale for the red, white, and blue of Samford U. A big thanks to all of her folks here at Samford University for having me up for another season of Samford softball play-by-play. Certainly looking forward to next season as far as what Mandy Burford's program will have in store for us for 2018. But Samford baseball and softball still not close to being done for the 2017 season, as Samford baseball won on the road at Alabama A&M today, 31-1. That's right, 31-1 up in Huntsville at Alabama A&M, as they'll return home tomorrow at 6 p.m. to face Alabama State. The Hornets of Alabama State come in tomorrow, and then a 3-game weekend series for Samford baseball against Western Carolina on the 28th, 29th, and 30th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Abby Miranda, the senior from Vestavia Hills, to the plate. Takes a fastball outside. Miranda ended the second inning with a pop-up to Maddie Moore. Second at bat tonight for the second baseman for the Bulldogs. We're in the bottom of the fifth inning, rolling right on along on a Tuesday evening. The 1-0. Good location strike call on the inside corner, 1-1. Start times for Samford baseball this weekend: Friday at 6 p.m., 2 o'clock Saturday, and 1 p.m. on Sunday. Moore gets the sign from Fain. Pitch upstairs, 2-1. Then next Tuesday, May 2nd, the UAB Blazers come into Jolie Griffin Field for the annual money drop game that will begin after the conclusion of the baseball game, which has 6 p.m. start time next Tuesday. The 2-1. Fisted left side, and that'll be caught in left field by Rachel Bobo, one away. Rachel Bobo getting rewarded with some quality playing time. Her first collegiate start in her career at Alabama as a junior. First start of the season. Only had one at-bat coming in to tonight's ball game as Hannah Trombley will look for her first hit of the game as she is 0 for 1 with a ground out to second in the third inning. Pitch from Moore. Down and away, 1-0. Fifth, 6th, and 7th of May for Samford baseball. They'll host a 3-game series against the Furman Paladins. Once again, 6, 2, and 1. Start times on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, respectively. As the 1-0, outside 2-0. Just like Alabama softball tonight, Alabama baseball will make the return trip here to the Magic City on May the 9th on a Tuesday. As the baseball Dogs went down to Tuscaloosa earlier this year and got a dominating victory over at Sewell Thomas Stadium in Tuscaloosa. The 2-0. Low on the drop ball, 3-0. Catherine Jackson on deck. Tickets for all the home games for baseball are available online at sanfordsports.com or on game day at any of the 3 entrances at the Griff. Hannah Trombley most likely getting the take sign here on the 3-0 upcoming from Moore. Fastball upstairs as Maddie Moore issues her first walk of the ball game. 4-pitch walk to Hannah Trombley as she's on at first base for Catherine Jackson. Scores from around the SoCon earlier this afternoon. First game for the Twin Bill. Furman defeated Gardner-Webb 3-2. Virginia Tech got a 7-0 win on the road at Western Carolina, and Austin Peay and Chattanooga canceled due to rain and scheduling conflicts for Austin Peay. Catherine Jackson got the only hit for Samford in the game a couple of innings ago. She'll take the curveball for strike 1. Maddie Moore looking good from the circle so far tonight. No runs on just 1 hit with a walk. Also has a couple of strikeouts. 1 away, bottom of the 5th inning. Fastball, you heard the crack of that mitt there. On that sharp fastball, 0-2. Not a type of fastball with that velocity you exactly see in the SoCon every game during this portion of the year. Runner at first for Samford. The 0-2. Fisted left side, and that sliding and making the catch. Yes, she did for Peyton Grantham over at third. Nice athletic play, sliding toward the Samford dugout and able to make the play. 2 away. I thought that was going to stay in long enough for Grantham to get on over, but it started drifting closer toward the dugout, and it forced Grantham to have to slide to protect herself from running in to the boundary over toward the fence dugout area. But still a good grab and a great play there by the Alabama third baseman. Lexi Higgins to the plate, who reached on an error over at second base her last time up. Moore winds and deals. Foul ball to the left side. Second SEC team that Samford has played, having played Mississippi State a pair of times back in March. So this is the third SEC game for Samford this year. One of those losses to Mississippi State, a 6-5, 12-inning decision about a month and a half ago. 0-1 pitch. Fastball outside. And I tell you that the Southeastern Conference this year in softball may be its strongest from top to bottom that it has been in the 2 decades that a lot of the SEC teams have had softball programs. We'll tell you why here after this 1-1. Swing and a miss at the drop ball as that gets away. Just enough for Trombley to get into second base on, I think, is going to be a wild pitch. Coming into this week, all 13 SEC teams have RPIs in the top 32 according to the NCAA. The 1-2. Line the opposite way. That's going to fall for a base hit, and that'll get past Dare in right field. It's coming home to score. Trombley will get Samford on the board. With 2 outs, a comfortable lead. Certainly margin for error that time for Chandler Dare to try and come in and make the play. But a good job by Lexi Higgins going with the inside-out swing there to get the first run of the ball game. And that's going to be an RBI double for the junior third baseman.
Shelby Mays.
So Trombley comes home to score. That's where the wild pitch comes in. As Samford now on the board, down 7-1, as we're back to the top of the order for Shelby Mays, who is 0 for 2. As she'll bunt and apparently was able to pull the bunt back and takes down low. The worst team overall record-wise in the SEC, Missouri, 27-21, but in the top 30 in the RPI due to a rigorous non-conference schedule. The 1-0, bounced foul behind home plate. And this ought to tell you how strong the league is. In the Southeastern Conference this year, the 13th place team, Georgia, at 3-15, has a 30-18 overall record. One and one the count. 2 outs, a runner in scoring position in Lexi Higgins. Swing and a miss, great location by Moore as the count goes to 1-2. And Alabama, a solid resume. A good resume for most other teams in the country at 37-11, but 10-7 in SEC play. Probably right now on the outside looking in on one of those top 8 national seeds. The 1-2, that's tapped foul. And just like with the football program in Tuscaloosa, when you talk Alabama softball, year in and year out with a program that's been to 11 WCWSs in Oklahoma City and have been the last 3 seasons, there's always high standards as far as winning championships and getting deep into postseason play every year. 1-2 the count. The pitch on the way. That's tapped foul, left side. And you look at this 37-11 record, close to the type of overall record that Samford had last year in going 40-20 overall in what was a record-setting year for the Samford softball program as far as the number of wins and making it into NCAA postseason play for the first time ever. 1-2 on Shelby Mays. Pitch outside, 2-2. Because you look at the standards for Alabama, the 10-7 record, a little bit of a disappointment in conference play, and even the 37-11 overall record at this point of the year. The 2-2. Swing and a miss at the drop ball as that just dropped down below the bat at the very last second. of Shelby Mays, as that'll be a strikeout for Maddie Moore, and do it for the Bulldogs in the fifth inning. But they do get on the board with a run on a hit, no errors, and a runner left on base. So we're through 5. Alabama 7 and Samford 1 as you're watching Samford softball.
Canadian bacon, Italian sausage, Spanish olives. It's like having the whole world in your hands and then in your mouth.
Order the Works Pizza or any large pizza for just $12. That's right, just $12 for any large pizza. Order now at papajohns.com.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Going into the top of the 6th inning, a lovely evening from the Magic City here on the campus of the red, white, and blue of Samford U. James Hardy with you for our final presentation for you on our Samford University Athletics YouTube channel for Samford softball this season. Going toward the bottom of the order, and believe we have a substitution for Patrick Murphy's squad as we're down toward the bottom of the order as Claire Jenkins grounds one over to Higgins at third as she'll throw to first base. Will Higgins in time. So Claire Jenkins coming on as the pinch hitter for Alabama. Grounds out to third. Talking about a couple of innings ago, Demi Turner's horrific accident, and it was, and I emphasize accident, up at Missouri earlier in the month on April the 1st. As Rachel Bobo will come up to the plate. As so far today, 0 for 2 with a ground out to the pitcher and a ground out to shortstop. 0-1 the count on Rachel Bobo. 6th inning at Missouri, second game of that series, a game that Alabama won. Demi Turner was in the field, took a throw from Sydney Booker at shortstop in the face from point-blank range. Of course, you can imagine the type of work that went on at the hospital up in Columbia, Missouri overnight that night. But shortly thereafter, Demi Turner was able to get out of the hospital, and she has not played since then. The 1-1 outside 2-1, and certainly wish her a speedy recovery. Noah asked not too long ago the status of Turner coming back, at least asking that question to Patrick Murphy, and it's still probably another week or so approximately before she comes back as a bunt foul behind home plate for Rachel Bobo. I mean, first things first for Turner is you want the health to be 100%. Want her to be well for the not just the rest of her playing career, but the rest of her post-playing days are concerned when it comes to career and comes to having a good life as well. Because that could have been a whole lot worse for her than it was. The 2-2, down low to Rachel Bobo, 3-2. So for Turner, probably this weekend at the earliest, maybe the Auburn series before Bama gets her back as the 3-2. On the inside corner, strike 3 call, as Taylor DeSalle has had some of her best pitching work of the season so far this last few innings, as she'll get the strikeout of Rachel Bobo, who's 0 for 3. 2 away.
Alyssa Brown.
After giving up a 3-run homer in the second inning, DeSalle has allowed a couple of walks and just 1 hit since the second inning. Alyssa Brown takes the fastball a little bit high. Brown has a walk, a single, 2 runs scored, 2 stolen bases, and has also grounded out to Katherine Jackson at first base. 1-0 to the freshman, Alyssa Brown. Fastball in there. 1-1. Two away. Alabama up by 6 as we're in the top of the 6th inning. Grounder to the right side, just underneath the glove of Abby Miranda into center field, base hit. Probably, in fact, I know she would not have been able to throw out the speedster that is Alyssa Brown over at first base if Miranda had been able to come up with that diving stop. But in any case, a single up the middle brings up Chandler Dare, who is 1 for 2 with a sacrifice, as well as a run scored. Pitch with the runner going as the throw down not in time. So it's been the base stealing bonanza tonight for Alyssa Brown, as she now has her 3rd stolen base of the night. Up to 23 steals out of 26 attempts this year. Pitch a strike call. Line into left field for a base hit as Brown gets the stop sign. As the throw gets by the cutoff person as the throw home, not in time. As the throw back to second, also not in time. So you saw right there the mistake was that the throw from left field did not get to the cutoff man that was covering between third and home plate. Also got by the backup players, the catcher and the pitcher defensively, that allowed Brown to come home to score, and also Dare on the throw in to go to second base.
First baseman.
So it's a single for Chandler Dare. Brown comes home to score. Have not gotten an official ruling, but I wouldn't believe why there would not be, in this case, no RBI on the play. So that'll be the first error of the night, and we'll see who that's eventually charged to here in a moment as the count goes to 1-0 on Hemphill, who has one of the 2 long balls for Bama tonight. Curveball in there, 1-1. Good job of hitting, by the way, for Chandler Dare to go the opposite way. That's going to be an error, by the way, folks, on Kelsey Royalty in left field. And also no RBI on the play. Bouncer left side, foul, 1-2. DeSalle got a strikeout looking in the last at-bat for Hemphill in the 4th inning. First run for Alabama since the 2nd inning when they scored, coincidentally, on that 3-run homer for Hemphill. 1-2. Downstairs, 2-2. In fact, Hemphill's homer, one of the longest home run balls in this ballpark I've seen in 4 seasons. Not only cleared the wall, also cleared the protective netting and went well into the woods in left center. Drop ball downstairs, 3-2. You would have thought Jordan Spieth was at the plate on that home run ball from Hemphill in the 2nd inning. Pitch. That's bounced back to home plate, behind home plate to the screen. So we'll have another full count pitch upcoming. Hemphill, a utility player, playing first base tonight. True freshman out of Lafayette, Louisiana. 2016 Louisiana Miss softball down at St. Thomas More Catholic High School. Payoff pitch. Just outside with the fastball, ball 4. Dare at second base, Hemphill at first base. Also, Hemphill mentioned some of the decorated accomplishments in her high school career. School record holder for home runs at St. Thomas More Catholic High School, as well as just being one of the top high school catchers in the country over the last couple of years down in South Louisiana. Foul ball left side for Grantham as the count goes to 0-1. Grantham a walk and a run scored as flied out to center twice tonight. Pitch gets inside as that'll be an HBP to load the bases. Dare to third, Hemphill over to second base. As the infield will have a conference in the circle. And that'll bring us back toward almost right smack dab in the middle of the order where Marissa Runyon started, but Caroline Hardy came on last inning as a pinch hitter and almost got a round tripper. So Hardy will stay in the ball game as the designated player, a sophomore from just right up the road in Vestavia. Has a home run this year as she'll take a strike call 0-1. 2 RBIs this year in 24 games. Had 4 RBIs as a true freshman last year. 2-time first-team All-State selection at Vestavia High School during her high school playing days. Count it 1-1 as the pitch from DeSalle misses low. The Crimson Tide inching their way toward what could be their 40th victory of the season. They'd still need, including tonight, 3 more wins to get another 40-win season or more as the count goes to 2-1. Also been a big season personally for Patrick Murphy as against Kent State. He accomplished his 1,000th career victory, 1,000th career coaching victory in his career. Fastball just outside as the count goes to 3-1. And you're talking about one of the legendary figures, certainly in the SEC, helped pave the way for Southern softball to become what it's been the last decade or so as the grounder left side, fielded by Hinton, and throws to first base in time. That'll do it for the Crimson Tide in the 6th inning, but they do get a run on the board, 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and they leave the bases loaded. So we go to the bottom of the 6th inning as Alabama will not run rule Samford tonight. Bottom of the 6th inning, Bama 8 and Samford 1 as you're watching Samford softball.
If you're entering a Division I college or university on or after August 1st of 2016, there are some new academic requirements you need to know.
First, you have to graduate high school within 4 consecutive years from the start of 9th grade. And in those 4 years, you have to pass 16 core courses.
Next, your 16 core courses must be taken in a specific area of study at a specific time during high school.
Your 16 core courses will determine your core GPA, which must be 2.3 or higher to be eligible to practice, compete, or receive an athletic scholarship during your freshman year in college.
10 of those 16 have to be taken before your 7th semester. Those 10 courses are locked in, meaning you can't retake them to improve your GPA.
You must also earn a combined ACT and SAT score that matches your core course GPA on the Division I sliding scale.
It's important to build a team that you can depend on for guidance and support. So go talk to your guidance counselor and ask them to join your team.
We all were in your shoes just a few years ago, so we know what it takes to become a Division I student athlete.
But more importantly, we know what it means to make our dreams become a reality. You can too.
The Crimson Tide with a snowman on the board as far as runs and hits are concerned tonight. 8 runs, 8 hits, and an error. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error for the Samford Bulldogs. James Hardy with you as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and a big night as well here at the stadium. In addition to the Crimson Tide coming to town, here at the stadium, we're joined tonight by the Sisters of Zeta Tau Alpha, the Zetas, as they're partnering with Samford Softball for tonight's Pink Out, as tonight's goal to promote breast cancer awareness and education, and of course to raise those all-important funds to go to fighting against breast cancer. Whitney Hinton will lead off and will have a foul ball at home plate as the count goes to 0-1. Your donations will benefit both the Zeta Foundation and the K-Yao Cancer Fund, and you can also help from home as we've been taking up funds here at the ballpark tonight. And we'll tell you how you can donate online here in just a moment as the count goes to 0-1. Pitch, grounded foul to the left side. Just look for the donation links online at www.zetataualpha.org or www.kateyao.com. 0-2 on Whitney Hinton. Fastball outside for Maddie Moore, who has gone the distance so far for Alabama. The Zetas and Samford softball also say a big thank you as far as donating to the cause of fighting breast cancer. 1-2 on the true freshman Whitney Hinton. Pitch on the way. Downstairs, 2-2. Alabama got quickly on the board in the first and the second inning thanks to a pair of 3-run long balls and getting out to a 7-0 lead, and it appeared that Alabama was going to run away with this one. But give credit to Samford for fighting and staying around in this one and forcing, as the score is 8-1, what's going to be a full game tonight. Pop up left side, foul territory as making the catch Grantham, one away. By the way, Claire Jenkins defensively will stay on and replace Sydney Booker at shortstop for Alabama. So one away. Abby Sweeney looking for her first hit of the night. 0 for 2 with a ground out to short and a fly out to right. The SoCon Player of the Week this week as awarded by the conference yesterday. Fisted foul as it gets to some spin in fair territory and then goes foul. 0-1 the count. Over the past week for Abby, 9 for 16 from the plate with a home run, 3 doubles, 4 runs scored, along with 3 RBIs. But you're talking about tonight going against one of the best pitching staffs from top to bottom in college softball as the 0-1. Outside, 1-1. And mentioned it, in fact, just briefly touched on it earlier on tonight. The three-person pitching staff for the Crimson Tide has recorded 23 shutouts this year of their 37 wins. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch that time on the curveball for Maddie as the count goes to 1-2. Couple of Alabama products going at it. Whitney Hinton from down in Theodore outside of Mobile, and then Maddie Moore from up in Winfield, about an hour and a half or so northwest of here. The 1-2. Right side, a ground ball is fielding and stepping on first is Hemphill for the 3 unassisted putout, 2 away. Kelsey Royalty to the plate. Royalty 0 for 2 with a ground out to second and a ground out to short. So not only will Samford force the full 7 tonight, they'll also not be one of the shutout victims for Alabama this season. It's the wind and pitch on the way is a check swing, called a strike. That time as Royalty held up, but called to strike at home by Craig Hyde, 0-1. Samford softball on the road at Georgia Tech for a doubleheader Saturday. They'll have Sunday off and then go to Western Carolina the following week. 0-1 pitch. Fastball outside. Reagan Dykes scheduled to lead off the top of the 7th for Alabama. As Moore pitching from the left side. The 1-1. Lined on, no, it's caught in the air right before it hits the ground for Jenkins at shortstop. As that'll do it for the Samford Bulldogs. In the 6th inning, nothing doing offensively for the red, white, and blue of Samford U. As we go to the top of the 7th inning, your score, Alabama 8 and Samford 1 as you're watching Samford softball.
At Express Oil Change and Tire Engineers, we believe in service.
Maintenance service, tire service, repair service, and most importantly, customer service.
We believe in treating our customers with respect and integrity while offering all the services you need for your car.
Most of all, at Express Oil Change and Tire Engineers,
we believe in keeping cars on the road, keeping families safe,
and keeping you coming back whenever the need arises.
Third pitcher of the night for Andy Burford's Samford Bulldogs is Jessica Stone. Will come out to the circle to pitch the 7th inning for Samford University. A weekend starter for the red, white, and blue of Samford U, along with Gray Adams, the primary SoCon starters this season. As a big part of the Samford Bulldogs' success over the last 3 years, Molly Hansen graduated after a milestone career in the red, white, and blue.
To start the 7th inning,
the program's all-time winningest pitchers. It took some time for Samford from the circle to try and adjust to the absence of Hansen, but both Adams and Stone have done a really nice job in conference play of trying to fill the void. As Alabama will lead off in their final at-bat, what we expect to be their final at-bat in the 7th inning, as Reagan Dykes, 1 for 1, has walked twice and has a 3-run homer back in the first inning. Pitch, high and away, 1-1. Samford scored a run in the bottom of the 5th inning thanks to a 2-out run-scoring double from Lexi Higgins from the number 9 spot in the order. 1-1. Swing and a miss at the fastball. 1-2. Final home game for Samford tonight. Certainly we'll go through all the folks to thank here at Samford University at the end of tonight's broadcast. As the 1-2. Grounded right side, right at Miranda, who mishandles it, and the throw to first not in time. Took a tricky little hop that time on Abby Miranda deep at second base, as she wasn't able to make the play, as Reagan Dykes will reach safely at first base. A tough hop, but we'll see how it's scored. I'm guessing it's going to be an E4, as Samford right now with just one error on the board, as they're still making a decision over to my left to here in the press box. But that'll bring us up to the number 7 spot in the order for Kerrigan Fain, who is 0 for 2 with a walk.
Number 7, Maris Schroeder.
So Maris Schroeder will come in now and pinch run for Reagan Dykes. And we'll see if Maris Schroeder will stay on defensively for the bottom of the 7th, as almost getting hit by the first pitch is Kerrigan Fain taking inside for ball 1. Maris Schroeder, a part-time starter for Alabama, coming on as a pinch runner, getting some game action. High fly ball, center field for Mays, who makes the catch. 1 away. The tricky hop on the opening at bat from Miranda is why it's taken a little bit longer than usual to decide on the scoring, but will be called an error on Abby Miranda at second base. 1 out, as it'll be the number 8 spot in the order for, I believe, Claire Jenkins coming up to the plate. Sydney Booker started as a grounder left side for Higgins, as she'll throw to first base in time, 2 away. So Jenkins, in each of her 2 at-bats, swung on the first pitch and is grounded out to short and to third, respectively, as we'll have time called. So it appears that we'll have a defensive substitution coming up for Samford. So Madison Couch will check out of the ball game, and Trying to see who
Now
the young
playing
lady
right
is
field
in
for the
right.
Bulldogs, number 00,
So it is Gray Adams, the senior, that will be getting her final action defensively in a Samford uniform. One of the 5 seniors on the Samford University 2017 roster will be making her swan song tonight in right field. Jessica Stone, another senior, getting her final appearance at home in a Samford uniform. Brings up Rachel Bobo looking for her first hit as she'll take a strike call. 0-1. Rachel Bobo has 12 runs scored primarily as a pinch runner. Also had a hit coming into tonight and 1 at bat as she'll take a strike call. 0-2 on Rachel Bobo. Rachel Bobo certainly taking advantage of some opportunities defensively with a couple of putouts on fly balls in left as she'll foul off the 0-2. So we've seen Rebecca Leonard as well as Jessica Stone from the circle. Gray Adams coming in. A goodwill gesture and a classy gesture as well for Mandy Burford to get her some playing time before this final home game of the year comes to a close. Off-speed pitch, a curveball outside, 1-2. And, of course, Abby Sweeney and Abby Miranda, the other 2 seniors, getting the start tonight in their final home games of their Samford career. The 1-2. Bounce right back to Stone. Fires to first in time. That'll do it for the Crimson Tide here. In the 7th inning, no runs, no hits, an error, and 1 left on base. So we go to the bottom of the 7th inning as Samford needs 7 to tie and 8 for the victory. As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, 8-1. Alabama leads as you're watching Samford softball.
These are the student athletes. This is where they train. These are their homes. This is where they become Rhodes Scholars and academic All-Americans. These are the athletes they've always admired. This is where champions are crowned and moments are made. This is the Southern Conference.
General Shale makes your great outdoors even better with big savings on its outdoor living collection. Everything you need to create your own backyard fire pit, outdoor fireplace, General Shale delivers to your home and can recommend a contractor. Or offers easy-to-follow instructions to do it yourself. Save money now on backyard fun with General Shale's complete outdoor living collection. Hurry, your great outdoors is waiting for you.
What could possibly be the final half inning of the home schedule for Samford University? Bottom of the 7th coming up as Madison Couch was taken out defensively by Gray Adams, but will re-enter offensively as Madison Couch will come on for the leadoff spot here in the 7th inning, batting in the number 5 spot in the order for Samford tonight. Looking for her first hit as she struck out in the 4th and also grounded out to short to Sydney Booker in the 2nd inning. Fastball inside and tight. 1-0, so it'll be Couch, Miranda, and Trombley, the 3 due up for the red, white, and blue of Samford U. We'll have a look ahead at the rest of the Samford regular season schedule coming up in the postgame. As the 1-0 is upstairs, 2-0. Certainly a lot of people to thank here. Mike Grace, our executive producer, and Jonathan McAfoos has done a terrific job this year as our producer over our broadcast so far this season. And all of our Samford students, Caleb, Matt, and a whole host of others that have been tremendous this year. The 2-0. Downstairs, 3-0. A rebuilding year for Samford after losing 6 seniors that led the program to their first ever NCAA regional appearance last year and took Alabama basically down to the final inning and down to the wire in that first NCAA tournament game last year, losing just 3-0. In fact, that was the most recent matchup for the two programs before tonight. The 3-0. Strike call, 3-1. And no, I found in the Alabama media guide for this year, and certainly could find in previous media guides, a picture from the 2006 season from Mandy Burford playing in the outfield on one of Patrick Murphy's 11 WCWS squads. The 3-1. Downstairs for ball 4, so Madison Couch leads off with a walk here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Brings up Abby Miranda, who is 0 for 2. I mean, I can at least tell, too, from just observing the culture of this Samford program that's been developed under Mandy Burford, that there's a lot of things she's taken from Patrick Murphy over the years as far as just running the program and developing the culture of Samford softball over her 6 seasons here in Birmingham. Pitch on the way is downstairs for ball 1, 1-0 the count. And wherever I go, culture is of an organization, or in this case of a program, something I always like to observe. And I tell you, this program here at Samford's been kind of like a family type of culture here that I've loved being a part of since day one back in 2014, at least for yours truly. The 1-0, lined into the glove of Moore, tosses to first, double play. So I'll miss at least making the trips up here to call the Samford softball games here. But hey, next season, February, will be here before you know it, in 2018 for another season of Samford softballs. We appreciate you for joining us all throughout this season. As still a little more softball to go in the regular season for Samford. As the pitch to Trombley downstairs as she walked and scored back in the 5th inning. Samford still with an opportunity to get back into an NCAA regional if they can make a run in the SoCon tournament in a couple of weeks up in Chattanooga. 1-0 on Hannah Trombley as Moore delivers. Hit high right side for the second baseman, Dykes, who makes the catch and finishes off the ball game for the Crimson Tide as Alabama comes in to the campus of Samford University and gets a solid 8-1 victory tonight. Maddie Moore with a complete game victory, her 3rd straight midweek victory of the season as Alabama goes to 12-0 on the season in midweek games this year. A good conclusion to the non-conference schedule for Alabama as Samford, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 errors for Samford tonight. 8 runs, 8 hits, and an error for Alabama. Final score, Alabama 8, Samford 1. We'll take the timeout and begin our postgame after this as you're watching Samford softball.
At Express Oil Change and Tire Engineers, we believe in service.
Maintenance service, tire service, repair service,
and most importantly, customer service.
We believe in treating our customers with respect and integrity
while offering all the services you need for your car.
Most of all, at Express Oil Change and Tire Engineers,
we believe in keeping cars on the road, keeping families safe,
and keeping you coming back whenever the need arises.
I think we should have taken a left at the river.
Tarzan, no. Where Tarzan go?
Tarzan does not know where Tarzan go.
Hey, excuse me, do you know where the waterfall is? Waterfall?
No. Me, Tarzan. King of jungle.
I know you wanted to.
If you're a couple, you fight over directions. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
You have to do that right in my ear.
If you're entering a Division I college or university on or after August 1st of 2016, there are some new academic requirements you need to know.
First, you have to graduate high school within 4 consecutive years from the start of 9th grade. And in those 4 years, you have to pass 16 core courses.
Next, your 16 core courses must be taken in a specific area of study at a specific time during high school.
Your 16 core courses will determine your core GPA, which must be 2.3 or higher to be eligible to practice, compete, or receive an athletic scholarship scholarship during your freshman year in college.
10 of those 16 have to be taken before your 7th semester. Those 10 courses are locked in, meaning you can't retake them to improve your GPA.
You must also earn a combined ACT and SAT score that matches your core course GPA on the Division I sliding scale.
It's important to build a team that you can depend on for guidance and support. So go talk to your guidance counselor and ask them to join your team.
We all were in your shoes just a few years ago, so we know what it takes to become a Division I student athlete.
But more importantly, we know what it means to make our dreams become a reality. You can too.
Final from the Samford softball stadium as the Crimson Tide defeats Samford 8-1. Alabama improves to 38-11 on the year overall, 10-7 in the Southeastern Conference. For the Samford Bulldogs, 21-30 overall with the loss, and they'll be 9-6 entering their final conference series in a week and a half at Western Carolina, May the 6th and the 7th. But before then, a doubleheader trip up over to Atlanta against Georgia Tech will await the Bulldogs at 2 o'clock, beginning with the first game of that doubleheader on the campus of Georgia Tech. James Hardy with you as we appreciate all of you all across the great state of Alabama and all throughout the South watching Samford and Alabama tonight on our Samford Athletics YouTube channel as we have our official game totals for tonight's ball game. 8 runs, 8 hits, and also 1 error for the Alabama Crimson Tide. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 errors for Samford. Offensively for the Samford Bulldogs, Catherine Jackson and Lexi Higgins, each with the only hits of the night for the red, white, and blue of Samford U, and Lexi Higgins with the only RBI of the night for Samford as she drove in an RBI double, scoring Hannah Trombley in the 5th inning. Pitching-wise, Rebecca Leonard got the start and went 1 inning, allowing 2 hits, 4 runs all earned with 3 walks and no strikeouts. Taylor DeSalle came on for what was a pretty solid 5 innings of relief. 6 hits allowed, gave up 4 runs, all earned with 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. And then Jessica Stone came on for 1 scoreless and hitless inning in the 7th inning. No walks or strikeouts for the senior right-hander. For the Alabama Crimson Tide, 8 hits on the night, 2 hits each for Alyssa Brown, Chandler Dare, and Bailey Hemphill. 2 for 3 for Brown and Dare, and as well for Hemphill. Alyssa Brown had 3 runs scored, Chandler Dare with 1 run scored. Bailey Hemphill also a couple of runs scored, and Reagan Dykes was 1 for 2. As you're watching Samford softball.
We are the Southern Conference.
And it's on us to stop sexual assault on our college campuses.
To get in the way before it happens.
To get a teammate or friend home safe.
To not blame the victim.
We are the Southern Conference.
And it's on us to look out for each other on our campuses.
To not turn a blind eye.
To intervene when something isn't right.
We are the Southern Conference.
And it's on us to stand up.
To step in.
To take responsibility.
We are the Southern Conference, and we take the pledge to stop sexual assault.
It's on us, all of us, to make a difference on our campuses.
Join us and take the pledge to be a part of the solution at itsonus.org.
Final score as we're wrapping it up tonight for the season as far as our coverage of Samford softball. Alabama defeats the Samford Bulldogs by a score of 8-1. Alabama will go to Oxford, Mississippi to face the Ole Miss Rebels Saturday, Sunday, and Monday for their final SEC Road Series before returning home to close out the regular season and preparing for an SEC tournament trip to Knoxville, where they'll host the Auburn Tigers on May the 5th, 6th, and 7th from the Rhodes House, Rhodes Stadium in Tuscaloosa. James Hardy with you one final time as the Samford Bulldogs will go on the road this weekend for a doubleheader Saturday at Georgia Tech beginning at 2 o'clock Central Time before going up the next week on Saturday the 6th and also Sunday the 7th of May. A doubleheader Saturday and a single game Sunday to close out the regular season against Western Carolina. Start times for those two dates. The doubleheader on May the 6th at Western Carolina will begin at 2 o'clock. And then a Sunday single game to close out the regular season at noon before Samford makes their way up I-59 for the SoCon tournament in Chattanooga this season, which, by the way, this spring, the 2017 SoCon Softball Championships, as we mentioned, will be hosted by the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, as the tournament will begin Wednesday, May the 10th, with the championship game set for Saturday, May 13th. For more details on the 2017 SoCon Softball Championship, including ticket and bracket information, visit SoConSports.com. The 2017 SoCon Softball Championship titles are forever. Our next presentation of Samford Athletics tomorrow night, as the Samford Baseball Dogs will return home off of a thrashing of Alabama A&M earlier today up in Huntsville, 31-1 for Samford Baseballs that take on Alabama State at 6 o'clock over at Jolie Griffin Field tomorrow night. I've enjoyed another season with y'all of Samford softball this season, as the Samford softball Bulldogs still with an opportunity in a couple of weeks to defend their SoCon tournament championship and try and make it back-to-back NCAA regional appearances in the SoCon tournament beginning Wednesday, May the 10th. So that'll do it for tonight's broadcast, as Rebecca Leonard, the loser for tonight, falls to 1-6, and then Maddie Moore improves to 6-1 with the victory. No save in the ball game and home runs by Bailey Hemphill and Reagan Dykes. Got a lot of folks to thank once again: Jonathan McAfoose, Mike Grace, Joey Mullins, as well as all of our fine Samford students, Matt, Caleb, as well as our coaching staff, led by head coach Mandy Burford in her 6th season, and as well as all of her fine folks here at the Red, White, and Blue of Samford U. Always great for me to come up here to this fine and beautiful campus with some of the best folks you can find anywhere as far as a university setting is concerned. Certainly would encourage you to come up and support Samford Baseballs. There's still a few home games left, about a month's worth of home games left on the regular season slate, including a home date with Alabama in a couple of weeks here in Homewood. So for all of our fine folks this season on the SoCon Digital Network and tonight on YouTube, we appreciate you for joining us all season long, and also reminding you that for updates on all 17 of the Samford softball teams on softball and the other 16 teams on campus as well, you can go to the official online home for Samford University, SamfordSports.com, as well as Samford University Athletics on Facebook and Samford_sports on Twitter. So until next season, folks, for God, for learning, forever, for Samford University, James Hardy speaking with you, saying thanks for joining us and reminding you that together we are Samford Strong.